Thank you. I'm thinking of growing my hair longer so that I may be recognized as long hair. And actually, I admire long hair very much, and he's so determined and in fighting for democracy for Hong Kong. I don't think I want to repeat the things that have been said by Audrey and Pooja, and also long hair. But I just want to mention that Fermi and I have been talking about organizing this event for months. I remember just after our first deliberation day on the 9th of June last year, that we started to plan about further discussion of universal suffrage in the community. And the first group that come to my mind was ethnic minorities. So I called Fermi that we should organize something for the ethnic minorities about universal suffrage. And surely we agreed with the idea, but working out the whole thing needs a lot of work and needs a lot of planning. And finally, we have this meeting today, and I'm so excited to see so many people coming here. But just I want to clarify one point. Fermi told me that there are quite a number of secondary school students here, right? I hope that you do not come here just because of the liberal studies that you might accept on Occupy Central next year. Because that's a hot topic for the liberal studies examination. So I hope that that is not your reason. And actually I've been contacted by many students because they want to do a research. They in the liberal studies, they have a project to do. And many students have used Occupy Central as a research topic. So again, I don't want that you come here just because you want to have some inside stories about Occupy Central to write a report. But never mind, I think even if that is your reason, I think it's okay. But I hope that you now understand the importance of democracy. I think Audrey has explained that, Pooja has explained that, about the importance of democracy to you as an individual, and also to you as a member of the ethnic minority. I think the most important thing for democracy is that everyone has the right to vote. And the importance of having this right is that the government, the leaders, must listen to you because you have the right to vote. So I think that is the importance of democracy to everyone. And maybe as explained by Pooja and Audrey, maybe even more to ethnic minorities, because your voice have not been heard or have not been taken seriously by the community in Hong Kong. Not just the government, I would say, not just the government, but the other parts of the community might not have taken your voice seriously. But if you have the same right as all the others, even though some of the others might not have that right, but as you can have the same right as all the others, I think not only the government must hear your voice, but the other parts of the community must also hear your voice. I think that is the importance about having the right to vote as an individual as well as a member of a minority group. Actually, Pooja mentioned about the different kinds of minority groups. You have the sexual minority groups, sexual orientation minority groups. We have different kinds of minority groups. And so I think it's just for everyone that our voice should be heard by all the others, especially those in power. I think Long Hair also explained the problem of our system, that because we do not have a democratic system, our government is not considered to be legitimate, and therefore our government encounter all kinds of problems in its governance, and not just even where to have the landfill, the government cannot actually implement the plan. So our situation now is we are in a kind of deadlock. That I've written a short piece saying that for the past 16 or 17 years, actually Hong Kong was not moving forward. Why? Why we could not move forward? Now we have our first chief executive, Dong Chi-hua. He wanted to do a lot of things, but unfortunately, he did not have the ability to lead Hong Kong to go forward. So at the end, he stepped down, and followed by Donald Trump. Many people consider he to be a very capable person because he worked in the government for many years. So he had the ability to lead Hong Kong to go forward. But the problem is that he did not want to, because he did not want to make mistakes, because he was not trusted by the Beijing government as the Beijing government trusts Dong Chi-hua. So it's kind of a civil servant minority. If you do nothing, you will not make mistakes. So it's better to do nothing so as you will not get yourself into trouble, because he was not being trusted by Beijing. And he was put into the place because Beijing hoping that he would be able to gain more legitimacy for the government, but at the end, it failed again. Now, then we have Xi Wai-leung. Xi Wai-leung, I think, like Dong Chi-hua, want to do a lot of things. Actually, I don't know whether he has the ability or not, but just that people in Hong Kong could not trust to allow him to do things for Hong Kong. And all these reasons because we do not have a democratic government, and we do not have a legitimate government. So that is our problem now. So it is at a very critical point that the future development of Hong Kong's democratic system. Now actually we had the chance in 2007, but the Beijing government decided no, we're not going to have universal suffrage for Hong Kong in 2007. Another chance, 2012. Again, the Beijing government decided no, too early. Now, but 2017, that might be the chance. And after you could have universal suffrage to elect the chief executive, then 2020, you might have all your members of the legislature be elected by universal suffrage. So we have a timetable now, 2017. So that's why it is important. Now, that's why this is a critical time that we are working towards universal suffrage in Hong Kong. But from what has been said by all the senior officials of Beijing, that the kind of universal suffrage is not really the genuine universal suffrage. Now, I think if you just watch the promotion video by the government emphasizing that every Hong Kong citizen will have the right to vote, one person, one vote. But actually, they have not mentioned that whether you have a genuine choice of candidates. So that is the tricky part. Now, you might have the right to vote. Yes, we have the right to vote, but who can you vote for? So you might only have Xi Wai-leung and Henry Tang and maybe Fanny Law, this kind of person for you to choose from. So they are all of the same kind of background. That might be the kind of universal suffrage we have. That is, after the so-called the nominating committee selected some candidates, and all the candidates would be those that they would support or they could trust, and then Hong Kong people would have the right to choose. But is that really a true right to choose? Is that a genuine choice for Hong Kong people to choose? Because we can only choose from a list that you could choose from, and not really a free choice of Hong Kong people. So that is the situation we are now facing. So how to break through from that kind of situation? Now, I think that is the point that why I put forward the idea of Occupy Central. Now, surely we can continue to organize procession. We can continue to have public gatherings. Then we can even have hunger strike or other actions. But in the past, some of these actions might be successful to stop the government from imposing some unwanted law upon us. For example, in 2003, we have this rally on July the 1st. We have 500,000 people in the street. We stopped the enactment of the Article 23. That's about the laws on treason, secession, subversion, this kind of laws. We stopped that. And in 2012, through the public gatherings organized by the scholars, we stopped something to happen, that is the national curriculum in the secondary school. Now, we may be able to stop something we do not want to come. But now it is not. We want something because we want universal suffrage. That's the true kind of universal suffrage, not the kind of universal suffrage with Chinese characteristics. That is, after the choices by the leaders, then you can have your choice. Then we want true universal suffrage.